Warriors, come the victors! Advance! Onward to glory!
Each city had its own king, its own god, its own army. Power was local, conflict was constant, but around 2300 BCE, something unprecedented happened. A single man broke the pattern. His name was Sargon, and he would create something the world had never seen before, an empire. The world before Sargon. Mesopotamia was a landscape of rival city-states, each one surrounded by walls, each one dependent on irrigation canals, each one fighting for land and water. Wars were frequent but limited. A city might defeat its neighbor. It might demand tribute. It rarely ruled beyond its immediate region. Political power had limits, until Sargon, a mysterious beginning. Sargon's origins are wrapped in legend. According to later texts, he was not born into royalty. His mother was said to be a priestess, his father unknown. The story claims he was placed in a basket and set afloat on a river. He was found and raised by a gardener. Whether true or not, the message is clear. Sargon was not supposed to be king. He rose from outside the traditional elite. It made him dangerous. Seizing power. Sargon began his career as a cupbearer to the king of Kish. In ancient courts, a cupbearer was not just a servant. He was a trusted advisor, close to power, close to secrets. At some point, Sargon seized control of Kish. How exactly remains unclear. But once he had power, he did not behave like a normal king. He did not aim to defend a single city. He aimed to conquer them all. The conquest of Sumer. City after city fell. Uruk, Lagash. Sargon defeated Lugal-Zaggisi, the powerful king who had briefly united Sumer before him. Instead of merely demanding tribute, Sargon did something radical. He removed local rulers. He replaced them with governors loyal to him. He centralized authority. For the first time in history, multiple independent cities were bound under one continuous political system. This was not dominance. This was empire. The first standing armies, Sargon maintained a permanent professional army. This was new. Earlier kings raised forces when needed. Sargon kept soldiers year-round. 34 battles according to inscriptions. His forces marched from the Persian Gulf to the Mediterranean. Trade routes came under his control. Resources flowed into Akkad. Empire required force, and Sargon perfected it. Building Akkad, Sargon established a new capital, Akkad. Its exact location remains unknown today, but in its time, it was the center of the known world. From here, administration radiated outward. Governors reported to the king, tribute was collected, records were kept. Writing, once used primarily for local accounting, became a tool of imperial management. The state expanded beyond a city's walls, a new political model. Sargon introduced something revolutionary. Instead of ruling through loose alliances, he created a hierarchical chain of command. Local rulers answered to regional governors. Governors answered to the king. The king answered to no one. This structure allowed power to scale. And once power scales, it transforms history. Future empires would copy this blueprint. The Assyrians, the Babylonians, the Persians, even Rome. The architecture of empire began here. Control through ideology. Force alone is not enough to sustain empire. Sargon understood this. He linked himself to divine authority. His daughter, Enheduanna, became a high priestess. She is the first known author in human history whose name we know. Through religion, literature, and ritual, the empire justified itself. Political power fused with spiritual legitimacy. Obedience became sacred. The cost of empire. But empire is fragile. Rebellions broke out. Cities resisted. Distance made control difficult. Maintaining authority required constant military pressure. Sargon ruled for over 50 years. An extraordinary reign for the Bronze Age. Yet toward the end of his life, revolts spread across his territory. The very scale that made empire powerful also made it unstable. Legacy of conquest. After Sargon's death, his sons inherited the empire. They struggled to maintain it. Eventually, external pressures and internal rebellion weakened Akkadian control. The empire fell, but the idea did not. That idea would outlive every wall, every king, every city. The idea that vast territories could be ruled under one centralized authority. The idea that power could expand indefinitely. The idea of empire. Why it matters. Today we live in a world shaped by large states, bureaucracy, standing armies, taxation systems, centralized administration. These are not modern inventions. They are extensions of a model first assembled in Mesopotamia. Sargon did not just conquer land, he changed the scale of human organization. Before him, power was local. After him, power could be continental. The turning point. When Sargon unified Mesopotamia, humanity crossed another threshold. Hunter-gatherers created equality, farmers created hierarchy, cities created institutions. Sargon created expansion without limit. Empire transformed war from survival into ambition. It transformed leadership into domination, and it transformed geography into strategy. Question: was Sargon a visionary, a conqueror, a tyrant, or simply the inevitable result of growing cities competing for resources? Empires promise order, they deliver control, they create stability, they generate conflict. From Akkad to Rome to modern superpowers, the pattern repeats. The world Sargon built never truly disappeared, it evolved. Final lines, strong ending. Before Rome crowned emperors, before Alexander marched east, before Persia ruled continents, there was Sargon, a man who refused the limits of his time, a king who asked a dangerous question: how much can one ruler control? The answer reshaped human history, and we are still living inside it.